Hey guys, it's Chloe and today I am here with a brand new video. Second month of college. I have been in college for 2 months now and this is my video talking about my second month of college, as you can tell by the title. Let's start with the fact that I cannot believe I've been in college for 2 months, and it feels like longer, but it's only been 2 months because I started on August 22nd and here we are. Today is October 28th. It's been like 2 months and a week and it's crazy. So it definitely feels like it's been a lot longer. So my last video discussing my first month of college, we kind of just discussed how I felt about college since it was my first month in college, never been in college before. So now we're just gonna kind of talk. I was really stressed out until earlier this week. Like the past 3 weeks have been very stressful until about Tuesday. And now all of my stress is gone. I'm sure that stress will return, but right now it's gone. And I feel so great. Last week was a really rough week, both in my personal life and in my school life, but now I just an entire weight has been lifted off of my chest. So as you guys know, I'm a full-time student. I take 4 classes, which is considered full-time. I think it's 12 credit hours. Just a refresher, those classes are topics in math, English Comp 2, Intro to Computers and Tech, and Intro to Literature in the classical period. So far in math, it's the same thing. We take notes for the entire chapter, we do a group activity as a review, and we take a test and we're done. And there's quizzes online and all the homework's online. Right now, I'm fully on top of that class. We only have 2 tests left, so 2 more sections. And right now we're on chapter 11, and we're halfway done with it. And I'm on top of the homework for that. We're up to 11.5, and I think I'm in the middle of 11.4 homework. So that's good. So I feel like I'm doing okay in that class since I'm on top of my stuff and I'm getting it all turned in and I'm getting good grades on the homework and everything. So I think I'm doing good in that class. At that class, it's the same thing over and over again as far as a schedule and what we do. So I'm used to it. The only different stuff is the actual content. And a lot of this stuff is stuff I learned in high school. But the problem is what we're working on now, I learned way back in my freshman year of high school. So almost 5 years ago. Now I'm learning it again in college. I'm happy that I only have to take 2 classes of math, which is, it's just 2 semesters, so 1 full year. So I'll take 1 more math class after this one and I'll be done with all of my math credits, and I'm going to be very happy that I will have it out of my life, hopefully, because I'm not in a major. I don't have a major where I need to know a lot of math. I can take the simplest math class there is and it'll be perfectly fine for my major. I've had to write 2 papers since the last time we talked about this, and this is not in the math anymore, we're talking just in general. I've had to write 2 papers for 2 different classes, and the first paper I had to write was a thematic interpretation of a piece of literature that we'd read in my Intro to Lit class. And at that point we had only done about 2 pieces of work. So my choices were Egyptian poetry or Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh. And we studied so hard on Gilgamesh, it was embedded in my brain, so I just went with that one. And that paper was ridiculous. My professor goes into so much detail. This is the professor that gave us a 50-page syllabus. Well, think about how much detail he goes into for an essay. Something that he said was a very simple essay. And it was very simple. Well, it was just a normal essay, I think 5 paragraphs, except he wanted the first body paragraph to be a summary of the work. So we did that. But then he's like, okay, now we're going to do peer review. So we did peer review. Then he's like, okay, well here's your rough draft back so you can have that included with your final. And then he's like, okay, now I want you to self-evaluate your essay. So I think in the end we turned in, he wanted this basically a packet worth of stuff that was to be turned in with the final one. He wanted the final draft, the self-evaluation, the peer review paper, the working rough draft that he gave back to you, and and an outline of basically what your essay was about. I think that's it. It was very stressful because he kept pushing the due date back. Like, it was supposed to be due before I left for Orlando. It was supposed to be due like the Tuesday before I left for Orlando. And then it was supposed to be due the day I left, because I still went to class on the day that I left for Orlando. So it was supposed to be due then on the 6th. Then he pushed it back to the Tuesday after I came back, which was like the 11th. So he kept pushing it back, and it was ridiculous. Oh, and then he also wanted you to turn it in online, like the essay itself. So he wanted you to turn in all of that stuff to him and then turn it in online to be checked for plagiarism. So it was a stressful essay. Like, he kept telling us, don't stress about it, don't stress about it, don't stress about it. I stressed about it. The second paper I had to do was actually turned in on Wednesday. So this was a fairly recent one. This one was for my composition class, my English composition class. We had, well, like, we knew about the essay, we knew it was coming up. We were never told anything about it. She basically, like, the week, like, no, maybe like a week before our rough draft was due for peer review, then she mentioned it. She's, you know, y'all have a rough draft due next week, right? And we were like, what? Excuse me? I love this professor, don't get me wrong, I love her to death, but I wish we had had a little more advanced warning about it, because she likes to run things through Canvas online. But she'd been talking all about this research paper we were supposed to do, which isn't due till the end of the semester. So we kind of got confused on the research paper and the short essay that we were supposed to do. But I wasn't worried about the essay. Like, we could pick our topic. We had like 8 different topics to pick from. So I picked one. This had to be a minimum of 750 words. I wrote my rough draft, and I think my rough draft was like 500 words, because it didn't have to be a completely like done out essay for a rough draft. So it was about like 500 to 600 words for my rough draft. I did fine on my rough draft, got peer review done, and I got the, you know, the full points for that. And then I had to go in and fix the essay, and basically fixing it for me was just inserting all the quotes that I didn't put in during my rough draft, because it was a very, very rough draft. So I had to go in, add in all the quotes, and then make it 750 words. And I think I felt like I was done with the essay when I was at like 640 words, and I was like, okay, gotta write another 110. So I think I added better transition sentences to the end of my paragraphs, made it to 750. I think it was like a little over, like 760, I think. I'm not sure. That essay got turned in. You can turn it on, you turn that one in online. You don't turn that in paper form. So I turned that online, and then the day it was due, I turned it in the day before it was due. The day it was due, she's like, oh yeah, you guys need to have a works cited page. And I was like, ugh. So I had to go in, and I had to make a works cited page on my document and then resubmit it. So I did that, and that got done the day it was due before I had to go to work. So that got done. So it's turned in, and it was fine. It's good. So now I just wait for a grade on that. I had my lit midterm on Tuesday, and this is part of the reason why the stress is kind of like lifted off me. This is only part of it though. So my lit midterm, I was kind of nervous about it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because surprisingly, I remember a lot about Gilgamesh in the Old Testament. I mean, I guess I can thank my religious days for knowing a little bit about the Old Testament. Other than that, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, and then the in-class essay also wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But then I got out of that class 15 minutes early because I had finished my midterm, so that was fun. So the one big thing that has like lifted stress off my life is I have completely finished one full course, and that is the course that we haven't yet talked about, which is Intro to Computers and Tech. That is the class that is completely on the computer. Everything is online on the program that my school uses. I completely finished the entire course. I just took my final exam for it on Tuesday. I got a B on it. I've finished the entire course. I'm very happy. I don't have to go to that class anymore. Now granted, I didn't have to go to that class before because I could just do everything online. Now I really don't have to go to that class anymore. And it is glorious. I love it. I love not having to go to that morning class. Instead of getting up at 7:30, I can sleep until 8:15. Then I can take my time getting ready because I have like an hour and 45 minutes before I have to leave at 10. I don't have to leave until 10 for my 11 a.m. class. I can watch an episode of whatever I'm watching on Netflix. I can get my makeup done. I can film right now or whatever. I have time to do stuff in the morning, and it's amazing. The entire weight is lifted off my chest, and that class, it's not hard. It was a very simple, straightforward class, and the subject matter was very straightforward, But now that I'm only doing 3 classes instead of 4, I just feel like this weight has been lifted off my chest, and it's amazing because I love not having to go to it. I can't stress enough how much I love not having to go to that class. So I only had midterms for 2 classes, which was the Intro to Computers and Tech and the Intro to Lit. And the Intro to Computers and Tech one, that midterm was actually done probably a month ago because I was that far ahead. And then I just did my Intro to Lit one, as I said. So now that midterms seem to be over for me, it's not as bad anymore. I'm not as stressed. I'm feeling pretty good. We only have about a month and a half left. And probably not even a full month and a half. Just maybe a month. Classes actually end on, the semester ends on December 12th or December 13th. My first semester of college is almost done. And I get to start picking classes for spring semester next month, and actually in 2 weeks, I think, on November 14th. I'm excited to be picking new classes to hopefully have more with my friends. Now in the next video, when I talk about my 3rd month of college, I'm going to be talking about, I've learned some different like techniques that I want to do as far as supplies goes for the start of spring semester. So I'll definitely talk about the things that I've learned about doing that in my next video for my 3rd month of college. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's a lot that's been going on in college right now, but I love making these videos. It's great to be having these college videos on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like books and you would like to check out my main channel, Brunette Bibliophile, it is linked down below. And if you like what you see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every Monday and Friday, so click subscribe so you can be updated for when I post those. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video, which is my Halloween video. I have a video going up on Halloween that's kind of Halloween themed, and I'm really excited. So I will see you then. Bye!